In what?
Subrogation.
What does that mean?
That means they have the official, how much it's going to cost.
Mhm.
And then the people are fixing it like, no, 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 no.
There's no way.
It's way more than that.
All right, you ready to get started?
Yes.
We're going to start with an ethics question.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to pay attention.
Is this a moral conundrum?
Yes, because I wrote about it in the newsletter, and then I got a piece of feedback, and I thought it was kind of a weird one. But a friend of mine is renting a car in the UK to drive all around the UK.
Okay.
And she was complaining about how much it cost. $922 for about 3 days.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So I said, you know what you need to do? Instead of booking it and saying that you are in the United States, why
Mhm.
don't you try using a VPN, saying that you're in London and you want to book the car for those 3 days? And then what happens? Okay. So she does that, and it comes back for $322.
Nice.
Okay. So I wrote about if you're trying to book a car out of the country, that maybe what you want to do is to use a VPN to fake your location.
Fake.
So
You just used the word fake, by the way.
yes,
In this moral conundrum,
To
you
fake
are
your location.
knowingly doing this.
yes. So so I don't know who it is because they didn't leave a note, but they said when you advise someone to fake their place of residence to get a cheaper rate on a rental car, that is unethical at best.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think it's unethical?
Oh, absolutely. What if I used a VPN? Like there was a soccer game I wanted to watch a couple of weeks ago. It was streaming live on the internet, but when I logged in, when I went to the website, I was blocked because I was in the US. It was free for the rest of the world. If I use a VPN, knowingly tricking them into thinking to giving me their programming for free, that's unethical. That's stealing.
But why is it ethical for the rental car company to say if you're in the United States, we're going to charge you 3 times more than if you say that you're in London?
Well,
It's the same car.
Is it their business model that if you have an American driver who drives on the opposite side of the road, who does things differently than a
Oh no,
local
she said
driver?
she was an American driver, but she just
Okay.
said she was booking it. She did everything the same. Lived in Phoenix, Arizona,
Right.
and used the same credit card,
Mhm.
home address, driver's license, everything. But because that she was booking it in London,
Through a London computer.
yes,
Right.
that it was 3 times cheaper.
I would say it's unethical. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, this is coming from the guy who, have I ever told you my SiriusXM story?
No.
Okay, SiriusXM, it's a radio company. They have satellite radio. Probably have it in your rent-a-car or your car when you buy it new. They used to offer 1 month for free. All you had to do is provide your email address.
Okay.
I was a fan of a radio show on Sirius, but I didn't want to pay. The show's called Ron and Fez, now called Bennington.
I thought you were going to say it was my show.
No. And so what I did was I signed up for a free month so I could listen to it. And I created the email address, ronandfezfan01@gmail.com. I got up to ronandfezfan76
No.
at gmail.com before they shut me down.
You did?
76 straight months.
That was unethical.
Right. It absolutely was. But I did it. I worked around it. I found a way to work around the system, and that's what she's doing. She just has to own up to the fact that it's unethical.
Or I'm unethical for passing along the tip.
Right. I mean, but Sirius offered it. They offer it. They offer the option. They offer the ability for you to do it. You just have to work the system. And I love working the system, but it still means it's unethical.
Well, what if I tell you that you should buy your airplane tickets on Sunday because it's the cheapest?
But that's different. That's like going and buying something when it's on sale, opposed to waiting 2 weeks when it's going to be off of sale. That is the company offering you something. You are working around the company's offering to get the discount. Unethical, yes. Great idea. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's why you should subscribe to the newsletter at getthecurrent.com or GetKim, wherever you want to go. We got all these different addresses. But on
GetTheCurrent.com. That's the first one I've ever heard. Is that new?
yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because getkim.com, we have winfromkim.com,
Mhm.
getthecurrent.com.
Are you trying to separate yourself from the newsletter?
Not really.
Okay.
Is that I have now Walter Sterling. Do you know him?
Mm-mm.
He's on about 60, I think 65 radio stations.
Oh, the guy you had the interview with. Yeah.
And then also Joe Pags.
Mhm.
He's going to start talking about the newsletter.
Oh, okay.
And they all have their unique referral links.
So you want it to be generic for marketing outside of you.
Yes. And
Gotcha.
so if Walter or Pags or whoever the talk show host is that if they refer readers and subscribers to my newsletter, then I'm going to pay them per person that they give us.
Per person.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, you could do that if you wanted to, but you could actually sign up for the newsletter.
Haven't done that yet.
Okay.
But it's on my to-do list.
Okay. And then at the bottom of the link,
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom of the newsletter, you have a unique referral link. Okay. And for everybody that you're sending me right now is I'm giving a dollar per person.
Okay.
Okay. So if you give me 1,000 people, you could get $1,000.
Is that on par with most referral companies, or because I've never heard about this?
It's high.
It's high. As I was going to say, you would think it would be pennies instead of a whole dollar.
No, it's high.
Okay.
But because I want to build the list. I want to get to 2 million people.
Do you have a goal? I know. Well, let me rephrase that. I know you have a goal date. When's your goal date for 2 million?
Well, about a year from now.
That's bold.
Yeah, I think I can do it though.
Good.
I think I can do it.
Yeah, pay people. That's a
But
good way
right
to
now
do
we're
it.
doing the podcast. Let's
Oh,
talk
sorry.
about the podcast.
Sorry.
Komando Today, it's your
Back
fun
on the freeway.
podcast where we talk about all things digital, including whether or not you should use a VPN to get lower prices.
You should. It's just unethical.
Just face up. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. My last confession was a month ago, and I used a VPN to save $600.
Own it.
Did I ever tell you when I went to confession? I was a kid.
Yes, but you can tell the story again. It's a good one.
It was a good one. I went to confession, couldn't figure out what I did wrong. So I said,
No, not you.
and I'm standing in line. I'm thinking to myself, all right, what did I do? And I saw a Bible. I'm like, there's got to be something there that I did wrong. I'm only like 8 years old.
Mhm.
So I go to confession. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. My last confession was a week ago because we had to go every week. I went to Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I committed adultery. The screen went like that. This guy's head pops at me. I'm like, whoa, never saw that before.
Well, now you did commit a sin because you lied. So now you have something to actually
That's exactly what he
repent for.
told me. And go home and ask your mother what that means.
Of all the ones to pick,
I didn't do anything else.
you didn't do adultery either.
Exactly.
Well, maybe.
And no, I was only 8.
Yeah, you were married at that time. You were free to do whatever you wanted.
So what do you got coming up?
We have the prison of the future. Instead of serving 10 years in jail in the prison of future, you'll serve 1 day.
That's it?
That's it.
Just 1 day.
1 day.
1 day. We need to tell people to like, comment,
and share. If you're watching this live on YouTube right now, first of all, thank you. If you're watching the replay of it on demand whenever you want to, again, thank you. If you could, just follow us on YouTube, like the podcast, share it with someone, and drop a comment. It helps the algorithm, helps grow the show so we can keep doing this every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
which we love that.
Yes.
And if you are getting the audio version of the podcast, this is actually exciting news. Is that did I tell you we were number 4
Number 4, where?
in the United States
Of America?
in tech news podcasts?
This podcast right here?
Mhm. Yes. You know who we beat?
Do your own podcast?
No.
Oh,
No. We beat the Wall Street Journal.
no way.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that.
That's very exciting. So wait a minute. This podcast is number 4 in tech in the United States. That other one you do, the one you call The Big Show, that's number 3 in tech in Rwanda. Well, maybe we gotta
Son.
start calling this one The Big Show.
Maybe.
All I'm saying.
Just saying. We're still looking for sponsors, so don't get too excited.
I
all
won't.
right?
Don't worry.
Let's get started with the top 5 things you need to know about tech. It's happening right now. Do you have a case of water in your house?
Okay, yeah, of course.
How about 2?
I have 1 case of water, and then I have a new addiction that I don't want to talk about because I'm embarrassed. Go ahead.
What is it?
I don't want to talk about
You
it.
have to now.
Have you ever heard of this water? It is called Liquid Death.
Yes.
It's delicious. And now I'm buying it instead of buying like Costco water bottles. And it is so expensive.
Now, why are you doing this?
Well, first of all, I want to drink more water. And I like things out of a can because it's really cold. When it's an aluminum can, it's really cold. But I did the math, and I am going to spend $2,000 a year on canned water.
Okay, that's stupid.
It's so stupid,
It's dumb.
but it's delicious. It's so good.
Well, you might be spending more than $5,000 or $6,000 on canned water if you keep it up. Because
Why?
Cyber attacks are now happening big time on our country's water systems.
Oh, God.
They're saying that China, Russia, and Iran are behind all the cyber attacks. They want to disrupt and alter chemical levels, and they want to contaminate our public drinking water supply.
Why do they want to do that?
Because
If they poison us all, they can't call us and make us leave gold in an unmarked car in the middle of a Safeway parking lot.
That was the stupidest thing. They've already attacked water utilities in Kansas, Texas, and Pennsylvania.
Now, they've attacked it means they've breached it.
Yes.
Have they caused any issues with
Not
their
that we know
attacks?
of.
Okay.
Not that we know.
We'll find out about him in 3-4 months.
Of course. Then we'll come up and go, and everybody in Kansas and Texas, Pennsylvania, I don't feel good.
Right.
You know what?
Third eye looks shinier than normal.
Do you remember I had the runs for a week? Do you remember that?
It's all the hackers.
So make sure that you do have a case of Costco water.
I have a case
just
of Costco.
in case. Just in
And
case.
4 cases of liquid.
Now, on Shark Tank, coming in at number 2, there are a lot of really smart people, including Mark Cuban.
Okay.
Okay. I wouldn't say that Mark Cuban and I are friends, but we have corresponded via email in the
Okay.
past. I've asked him to carry some programming when he had the cable channels,
Mm-hmm.
and he wrote me back and he said, "Do you actually know what's on my channel, Kim? Because I don't think you want to be part of it."
You just blindly were writing people? Can
Yeah.
you carry my show?
Exactly. Exactly.
Way to go.
And then I looked it up.
Dear Playboy TV, quick question.
Exactly. But I always thought, the guy wrote me back. It was
Yeah.
very nice. Wrote me back in like a couple of minutes. Well, he's a smart person. He's a billionaire.
Right.
Last week, he was sitting there and he noticed some notifications in his Gmail account. And then he gets a phone call from somebody saying, "Hi, are you having trouble accessing your Gmail account?" And he's like, "No, I'm all in there. I'm fine." They said, "Oh, let us help you. Let us help you. And we're going to do a whole factory reset. And we're going to make sure that you get in there really, quickly. And
Mhm.
don't worry, because it looks like that your privacy has been breached and somebody has been trying to hack your account." And so Mark Cuban turned over his Gmail account to hackers.
No, he fell for it?
Yes,
What?
I know.
Are you kidding me?
He did. He fell for it.
We hear these stories like these little old ladies that don't know any better. He's a tech billionaire. It's not like he made a $1 billion selling strawberry preserves. He's a tech billionaire.
Yeah, he fell for it.
Oh,
He fell for it.
dude.
So just a reminder to everybody that Google's not going to call you up,
No.
and they're not going to ask for your passwords or your verification codes over the phone or email or messages.
Well, at least he admitted it. He could have kept it secret.
Well, I think he wanted to show like even I can fall for these things.
Right,
You
which
know.
is crazy.
Moving on to our next tech billionaire, Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Another best friend. I'm
another
sure
best
you
friend.
correspond with him all the time.
I do.
Yes.
I do. I love him. If you see Elon hawking crypto on YouTube, it's a scam.
Yeah.
It's deepfaked. What's going to happen is that you're going to transfer your crypto into his new trading platform, and you ain't got no crypto, because remember the first 3 letters in crypto is cry. Okay.
That's true.
Okay.
Mark
So-
Cuban, too. He's another one that they put AI
Yes.
videos of hawking every single thing on the planet.
Exactly. So just, be aware that if it sounds like a scam, feels like a scam, it really is.
The only advertising you can trust is the one on Kim Commando's shows.
Which is true.
Yes.
Absolutely. 100%. So Alexa, do you have her at home?
No, I got Google.
Okay. Alexa is now going to have Alexa intelligence.
Okay.
So instead of just saying like, Alexa, play the Kim Commando show,
Mm-hmm.
which if somebody has their Echo speaker, it just kind of played the Kim Commando show.
was
Sorry
smart.
about that. You can sign up.
You're
for
not. You're not sorry about that.
I was going to say you can sign up for the paid version too. Okay. Is that Alexa's now going to get Alexa intelligence?
Okay.
And so you could say, Alexa, get me an Uber, just send me from Whole Foods everything that I need to make a chicken piccata dish with, I don't know, ricotta or whatever it may be.
Right.
And then just go ahead and send that off to me.
It's just going to be more conversational than you had with your home speaker before.
Yes, which is
Yeah.
just a one-way gig, really.
Right.
They're going to charge for this
Okay.
anywhere between $5 and $10 a month.
If it works, it would be worth it. But there's a lot of this AI. I mean, look at McDonald's. McDonald's just took their entire plan to do AI in their drive-throughs and scrapped the whole thing because people were ordering and it was putting bacon on top of ice cream and charging people $222 for chicken nuggets. So if it works, $5 is not bad, but it's got to work.
It's got to work really, really well.
Right, like a real assistant.
Because you don't forget that you're going to have chat built into your new iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Google just announced their Pixel event. That's going to happen in August, which means don't buy a new iPhone. Do not buy a new Pixel phone right now because you just bought a Samsung. Are you still liking that?
I am, yeah. I found a new feature today. You want me to tell you about it?
Yes.
So I play this game like 15 minutes every single morning. It's this stupid like city building game, and you have to join these alliances so you can be more powerful, whatever. It's what I do when I wake up and I'm drinking my coffee. And I joined this new powerful alliance. Everyone's Arabic. There's 500 people in the alliance. It's me and 499 people that speak Arabic.
Okay.
So I just pull out my S Pen when someone posts a message. I just pull out my pen, put a square around it, hit translate. Boom. Right there in seconds. It's so cool.
So is the game Arabic or did you just pick an Arabic city?
I was asked to join because of the power of my city to join the alliance.
Oh, God.
With these powers combined. And I don't know why they thought I was Arabic, but literally everybody else is. But it's okay. I'm working around it.
So do you feel like a really big man when you're playing this
No,
game?
it just is a way to get my mind moving when I wake up. You got to do some strategy stuff, and it just gets me going. And then I play Wordle and then connections. Can we talk about your Wordle faux pas, by the way? We haven't talked about that on the podcast.
Okay, go ahead.
Last week, get a text message from Kim bragging that she got Wordle in 2.
Yes.
Great accomplishment. You're the digital goddess. Why didn't you hit the share button so that when you sent me your great accomplishment of getting it in 2,
Prior was the name.
it would block out the letters and I wouldn't see the word?
I did that on purpose.
Well, then you're a jerk. And then I hadn't done it yet. So I just took the word, which was the solution, put it in my Wordle, solved it in 1, and sent it back to her and said, beat ya.
That was funny. I figured, you know what? I was just busting your chops by sending you that.
What a spoiler.
I know. Sorry.
You ruined it.
All right. Finally, this. I saw this online that, a lot of people are concerned about EMF, the electromagnetic frequencies, and how it's affecting our bodies. And somebody did a whole bunch of research about new products. Okay. So like, for example, they're calling it a tinfoil hat that you can buy. It doesn't really look like a tinfoil hat.
But it's the theory of you can block everything getting to your head by wearing it.
It's kind of a bucket hat.
Okay.
Stylish bucket hat. And if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, we're going to be showing you some of the products that are there. They also have a reversible armor T-shirt.
This stuff is expensive.
Yes. The tinfoil has $100. The data protection bag, which is a Faraday bag, is $200. The reversible armor T-shirt is $200.
For a T-shirt?
Okay. They say that inside all this stuff is, they're quoting the original Silver Street Shield.
Okay.
Each is made with pure copper nickel shielding fabric.
Can I wash it?
Which supposedly, I'm going to read this exact quote from them, offers exceptional electrical connectivity, deflecting electromagnetic waves such as Wi-Fi and 5G with up to 99.999% shielding effectiveness.
That's a heck of a claim right there.
Okay, it's not 100%.
No. It's obviously something's going to get through.
Okay. So, I've done research about this before.
Okay.
Because I've been on in front of a screen. I figured it out like over 40 years. I mean,
Right.
Because this is just. I was just a kid. So you have to remember that both 5G and Wi-Fi, they emit non-ionizing radiation, which is totally different than an X-ray.
So safe.
It's not known to cause any damage to DNA or cells. The World Health Organization. And I've never heard of this one. The International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection.
You never heard of them?
No.
I get their newsletter. I don't get yours, but I get their newsletter. It's very informative.
I bet you it's really interesting.
Yeah. It has 5 followers, not as much as you.
Look at this mouse. Look at this mouse on 5G. And the FCC, they all say that there's no conclusive evidence for exposure to low-level electromagnetic fields on phones, Wi-Fi, cause adverse health effects.
So if someone doesn't believe all of that stuff, they want to go get a tinfoil hat, they can.
$100. So, so then I started thinking, like, let's see really who is behind this
Okay.
whole website, and let's see who's behind this whole idea that we're going to sell copper shielding t-shirts and shorts and underwear and pants and bras. They also have, like, you remember like the Pippi Longstocking cap? It's like the little cap.
Oh
in the book.
yeah, that covers the ears.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it goes down.
Yeah, they sell one of those
Okay.
for like $175.
It's not cheap.
No, this is expensive stuff. Expensive. So I decided, like, let's figure out who's really, really behind this.
Okay.
So I traced it back to the UK.
Did you use another VPN so you could get it cheaper?
Well, if I was going to buy anything, absolutely.
So unethical.
So, I mean, I'd probably like go to like Retail Me Not and get a promo code that doesn't belong to me either.
Right.
I mean, just saying. And it's a 48-year-old woman
Okay.
whose primary business is this.
That's MIA.
Yes.
Who picked the song? I mean, if you're going to pick MIA, you got to pick Paper Planes, but that's fine. It's MIA, of course.
The first one that popped up on YouTube.
Oh, you got to go with Paper Planes. That's her hit. That's her banger.
Okay, we'll see if we can find paper.
Let's
planes.
change it in post. Yeah.
No, we'll not do that. So, are you ready to go by?
No, I'm good. I'm going to pass.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
First of all, the cost. Second of all, I'm not worried about it. So those two things combined, I think I'm pretty safe from my Wi-Fi and 5G.
You know what? Maybe this is why you're bald.
Nah. That's why.
Yeah.
I went bald when I was 20. There's not as much 5G hanging around back then. Someone banging back there? Okay. Because I just heard like something open, close, open, close.
Let me wipe my nose. Hey, it's Komando Today. It's your fun podcast about all things digital every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's when you can actually come and see us do the show. And we always love that because you know what? The more followers, the more listeners, the more people that we can help to become, what would you say, tech aware? Tech
Sure,
smart?
that's good. You should put that on a T-shirt or something, and then make it out of tinfoil and block all the 5G. You can just charge like $150 for that.
See, I think I'm just jealous of MIA.
That she came up with this idea to make a ton of money and you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
It's probably it. All right. Joseph Cox is a friend of our shows. He's one of the best cybersecurity journalists out there. He's one of the co-founders of 404 Media, which if you haven't checked out that website, they do incredible reporting. There aren't too many news organizations anymore that they actually do reporting.
There's a lot of copy and paste news organizations.
Yes. But I mean, we're talking about somebody who goes in, they get the story, they investigate it, they do a whole bunch of, I mean, basically you have to live, breathe, eat a story.
Right.
For months.
True journalism.
Yes, exactly. He just published, talk much? Yes. He just published a book called Dark Wire, The Incredible True Story of the Largest Sting Operation Ever. There was a powerful app for secure and encrypted communications called Anom, A-N-O-M. And it wasn't something that you would use.
No.
Not something I would use.
The phones that had it on it were like $2,000 a piece. And yeah, I would never think to go buy one.
Well, it was really being used by criminals and drug dealers.
Mm-hmm, mainly.
So Joseph's here to talk to us more about it.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So Joseph, who was behind this?
Well, initially it was some criminals who were selling the phones, and they thought they were just selling it to one another and using it for their drug trafficking enterprises. But what later turned out was that it was secretly the FBI the entire time, essentially for its entire existence, in that the FBI had a backdoor into this phone and they could read every single message that was sent across this entire communications platform, which is obviously not great if you're a drug trafficker who's trying to stay out of the hands of the FBI. And I was just blown away when the FBI did that. I never thought they would go this far.
So the FBI set it up as a bona fide, true cell phone company and cell phone maker.
Yeah, I mean, the FBI became a tech startup for organized crime. They handled everything from sourcing the mobile phones. It was sort of just like Google Pixels, normal Android phones, to then sorting out, putting this special app that you mentioned on there, Anom, on there as well, and then shipping those phones, the logistics as well, stopping hackers getting in, introducing new features, everything that a tech company would need to do.
Wow.
The FBI was doing it as well. It was just doing it for drug traffickers.
Now, it's one thing to come up with the idea. Like, wouldn't it be great if we could watch and maintain everything these bad guys are doing? But how do you get it out there and you get all the drug dealers to convince that it is secure, it's something to use?
Yeah, exactly. Even the FBI agents who I've spoken to and heard from, at the start, they were like, this is crazy. Like, we cannot do this. No one has done this before. As for how to actually get the phones out there, they needed these, what they called influencers, or I sometimes call ambassadors in the book as well. And these were top tier drug traffickers. The main one was a guy called Hakan Ayik. He was the most wanted man in Australia. He makes billions of dollars trafficking drugs. And he already had a connection to the person who came up with the original idea for the phone. So he started selling them. He started promoting them. And what better marketing could Anom have, or the FBI have, than Hakan Ayik supporting and using and selling your phone? It's like getting a really, really incredible, I don't know, celebrity.
He's like the Kardashian.
Yes.
The Kardashians of drug dealers. He puts it up on his Instagram and he's like, oh, I have to have that.
So did it have its own website, or did you have to go to the dark web to buy this thing, or what?
So it did have a website, but you had to have a certain code given to you by a reseller, somebody who's already distributing these devices. And that has a couple of good benefits. First, for the FBI, that means that civilians are less likely to get in. I did confirm that some ordinary people got hold of the phones, a relatively small amount, but it lowers the barrier. But it also creates this sort of viral marketing mystique about the phones. I remember when Google Plus came out years and years ago, and you had to know somebody on the platform to get an invite. I remember asking at house parties, "Yo, you on Google Plus? Can I get in?" Very, very embarrassing to look back at that.
Yeah,
but
you know what? I wouldn't.
Basically the same thing.
I wouldn't tell too many people that story, Joseph. Your credibility just went right down the toilet.
You'd be better off just telling people you're an Australian drug dealer than that.
And I wear bowling shoes.
How much did it cost?
Exactly.
How much did this entire program cost the FBI?
So that's basically the one question they would not tell me. They would not answer to me. And I got to ask basically everything once they granted me access. But from what I can tell, it would have been a lot. They had to, as I say, source the hardware. Also, these unlimited data SIMs, they have to be very reliable. They have to be on all of the time. You have to have very fast infrastructure, because just like an ordinary tech company, if your product goes down, you're losing money potentially. Your customers are obviously losing uptime, and they're going to be very, very mad. And they might then go to another platform, which if you were even an ordinary phone company, that would be bad. If you're the FBI trying to run a honeypot, that's like the last thing you want. So to answer your question, I would say they invested significant resources into this operation. They just wouldn't put a figure on it, because I imagine they may want to do it again, and maybe they need to get the budget again. So maybe it's best they don't tell me that.
So how many phones did they sell?
In all, it was 12,000, which does not sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things. But when you think about that, basically all of those, the vast, vast majority of those, are serious organized criminals. That's 12,000 people who the FBI and its partners are ultimately going to want to hunt. And it started very small. It didn't jump to 12,000 immediately. At the start, it was 5 phones given out in Australia for free. Then it gets more popular in Europe, so it ships over there, South America, Southeast Asia. And what the FBI did, they actually shuttered another encrypted phone company that criminals were using. So criminals from that then moved over to the
Oh,
honeypot, and that's
nice.
when they had this like triple growth overnight. There were all these new countries appearing, and it would be great if, I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg would love it if he could just go shut down Twitter and take all of those users and go over to him. That's what the FBI did here with Sky and Anom.
Wow.
So, did they learn anything about the activity of what criminals do with technology? Obviously, communication is. Do they play Angry Birds a lot? No, I'm just kidding. Did they learn anything that they didn't know about how criminals use technology?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Angry Birds. Like, they weren't doing that, but they are using tons of emojis. Like,
Okay.
literally, when they're planning assassinations, they are sending the sunglasses emoji
Oh my
or heart
gosh.
emoji.
Wow.
Yeah, which I think, I mean, obviously it's quite funny when I say it, but I think it just shows how callous some of
Mhm.
these people are, that they can literally order assassinations as casually as you might order like a taxi or food or whatever, right? And as for what they learned, I mean, there's tons of drug trafficking techniques and all of that, but when it comes specifically to the technology, I think the most important thing is that you can no longer think of organized crime groups, like an Albanian gang or maybe a Chinese triad or a biker gang in Australia. What they found is that they all work together now. Even groups who would ordinarily murder each other are in
Wow.
cahoots because they want to make more money. And these phones is what provide the technological backbone for that. Like, you couldn't do this 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. Now they can communicate very securely, or at least they think so, very, very quickly, and from any country to any other country anywhere in the world.
What year was this?
This was in 2018 is when they started. It was just after they shut down Phantom Secure, which was another encrypted phone company. And then from there, they kept on going and kept on growing until the FBI came out in mid 2021 and announced they ran the operation. So obviously, as soon as the FBI announced it, I went and started investigating the company. It turned out some of my older sources actually worked for them and sold the phones. They just didn't want to tell me at the time because they thought they had a very good side gig going on, a very good hustle. And then it turned out they were getting arrested by the FBI. So that all fell apart around them.
Why did it come to an end? Why, if it's working so well, if they're reading every single text message, why stop it? Why announce it?
Yeah, exactly. The European partners that the FBI teamed up with, they did not want it to stop. They were seizing shipments, they were stopping murders. It was incredible. But there were two main reasons that it stopped. The first is that the sort of court authorization that held it all legally together was running out. Maybe they could have extended that, but they didn't want to. And I think the most important thing is sort of what I hinted at earlier, is that it was starting to get out of control. They were getting more and more criminals on there every single day. It got to the point where they were getting 1 million messages a day that all had to be read, sometimes with AI, sometimes manually. But if even a single one of those messages fell through the cracks, there's obviously a chance that somebody could be murdered. And I proved that at least one person was killed because of an assassination planned on the app, and the FBI failed to warn the relevant authorities in time.
Wow.
Wow, that is something.
Now, it's safe to assume, using logic, something's happening right now
Of course.
that they're doing behind the scenes that in 5 or 6 years we'll find out about. That's got to be multiple times better than what they had with this.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm almost certain, as much as I can be, that they are planning something else. But even if I don't know the specifics, what I would say is that this operation was just like a warning shot, right? It shows the extreme resources and the extreme measures the FBI and other law enforcement will go to get around end-to-end encryption, which for us is a very, very important privacy tool. For the authorities, it annoys them a great deal. And what I'm mostly worried about is like, well, what if that next thing is they try to undermine Signal? Or they try to undermine Telegram, or
for sure.
one of these other apps that not just criminals use. And I don't know whether they're going to do that, but I absolutely think this operation shows that they could do that.
It makes you think, like, what other type of backdoors might exist, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. What are the thing that you're buying on a daily basis that's actually run by the government and they're using it to spy on you?
Or are there
Yeah.
backdoors already built into, say, an iPhone, or and under the premise of we're trying to catch criminals, that it might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, in Europe right now, they are discussing this legislation or proposals, and the idea is that they're going to scan all encrypted chat content, just in general, because it's a big sweeping argument for child sexual abuse imagery. A lot of people would say that'd be a very, very good thing. We already do that for email, for Dropbox, that sort of thing. This would sort of just extend it to encrypted messaging. But I think there's a real threat there that could easily be expanded to other sorts of crimes. You know, like, oh, now we want to expand it to protests. Now we want to expand it to financial crime. And hey, maybe as a society, we want to do that, but there absolutely needs to be a discussion because, at least in this case, and then some other investigations the Europeans have done, the cops kind of just, they went and did it. You know, obviously we're only finding about this now because I wrote a book about it, and there was no debate. They just went ahead and they did this audacious operation.
So how many arrests did they make?
So on the day, it was something like 800 nearly simultaneously. Starts in Australia, they do some arrests there, moves over to Europe, they do more there, and then in America, they don't actually do any arrests there for legal reasons, because it would be illegal in America, but police the world is fine, just don't do it inside the United States. And then the FBI announced it there. So they have 800 on that day, and since then, it's gone up to more than 1,000. But what I try to do in the book is that I zoom out, and there were those other investigations. I mentioned the one into Sky, this other encrypted phone company. And there was another one called EncroChat that the French police hacked. When you take all of those together, they arrested more than 10,000 criminals. So it's basically like they arrested the entire user base.
I was going to say, because you said 12,000. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It just like, in the end, it ended up being like 3 different investigations altogether. But 10,000 arrests is a crazy number. It would already be good if they arrested, you know, one sizable organized crime gang. On Anom, there was something like 300 distinct crime gangs all using this app at the same time.
Wow.
So cool.
You know, Joseph, what a great job that you've done. I mean, this is, you know, I'm so glad that how many hours do you think you've spent on this?
Oh my God, I literally cannot estimate that. It would be countless. There were points where I would wake up before work at Vice, or as you kindly said, 404 Media now, and I would just read these hundreds of thousands of Anom messages that I've obtained, and I would translate them from Swedish or whatever. Then I would go to work, and then I would come back in the evening, and I would do it all again until I fell asleep, basically. It was a ton of work, talking to sources, getting people to talk, going into the FBI as well. I literally couldn't put a figure on it, but I hope that gives you an idea of the amount of work that went into here, because I really wanted to talk to the people, well, the agents who ran the company and who investigated it, but I've also spoken to the people who coded the phones, who had no idea they were actually working for the FBI. I spoke to the people who sold them to organized criminals, and I spoke to drug traffickers as well. So, you know, some hairy situations, I would say, but you've got to do that because you need to tell the full story. You can't just tell the FBI side, you can't just tell the criminal side. You have to tell everybody's perspective so we get a better understanding of what actually happened.
It should be a movie.
I was just going to say that.
Absolutely should be a movie.
This would be a great movie. Great movie. So if you're listening to the show, you're watching the show, I am now Joseph's agent.
I mean, that would be great. I think more people should know about it. And I did try to tell it like a movie as well in the book, you know, because it's important. But as I can tell from both of your reactions, it's just a crazy story.
It's great.
I actually do know a movie producer, Joseph. Because
Oh.
I did a movie once. I didn't do the movie. Barry did the movie.
Yes.
You know.
It was a Western, right?
Oh, no. It was about
Oh, it's the border. Yeah.
About the border. We don't need to go into
Even
it.
Longoria was in it. That's a
Yeah.
big name.
It was.
There you go.
And yeah, some other people.
She'll tell you about how much money she lost on it later.
Then he wanted to do another movie. I'm like, no, we're out of the movie business.
This is a movie. This is a winner.
Joseph, again, the title of the book, Dark Wire, available everywhere.
Yep, that's right. And this is kind of what it looks like. There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Amazing.
Joseph, congratulations. It's going to be a home run, I'm sure.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate your time.
Thanks for being here. Wow, isn't that something?
So cool. I read the story multiple times just because there's so many pieces of what was happening. And the fact that I'm glad he answered the question, because why would you ever stop it? I mean, you're just getting fed all this information directly from the criminals. Why would you ever stop that program? But now we know.
You know what? I normally don't read books,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I might read this book. How about you?
I'm not a big reader. Maybe I'll do, well, once he does the, especially with his voice and his accent, I'll do the audiobook. Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just.
okay.
I gotta do something.
Your face got serious for a second.
Oh no, I'm just looking someone up.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Okay. All right. So it's 12:15. We have 2 stories we need to do.
Go fast.
Gotta go fast. We gotta go fast. Although I'll tell you, Robert Lipson, he was saying like these should be like 45 minutes.
Wasn't that what we aim for?
No, normally, well, yeah, 30. We were trying to do 30 for a while.
Oh, okay. Well, normally we're not done till 12:20.
It's true. Hey, it's Kim Komando Today. We're glad that you're here with us. By the way, that movie with Ava Longoria, it was called Frontera.
Frontera, that's
Frontera,
right.
2014.
I remember that. Barry was so excited. He was a movie producer.
I know. His name's in it at the end,
That's all I wanted, really, right?
Yeah.
It's a bucket list thing.
I guess.
Can we talk about the prison of the future?
Yes.
There's a group of scientists, and what they want to do is they want to take criminals, and after they've gone through the legal process, and this is way in the future. This is not happening next week. Once they've gone through the legal process, they get a choice. Let's say you were, I don't want to be gross, but let's say you rape someone, okay? And you're going to go to jail for 25 years.
Okay.
They'll give you the option, instead of going to prison, you can go to a facility. They will do a scan of your brain, and then they will implant in your head the memories, the fake memories, but the memories of the victim.
Of the victim. Okay. All right. I get that.
And it won't be the specific victim. It will be a digitally AI enhanced version of the crime that you committed. Your face is not.
This is horrible.
Yes. But the point is to build remorse inside of the criminal so that they will then correct their actions and be able to return to society instead of sitting in a cell for 25 years and be able to go out there and function again and not commit these crimes.
What if the guy's a psychopath and he would get pleasure out of?
Oh, then he's going to be back, obviously. I don't think it's a great idea. It's interesting, but I don't, if you pull back and look, we're putting memories in people's heads that are not real. That technology is terrifying.
Yeah.
So terrifying, it's actually the plot of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Total Recall, and that didn't work out for anybody.
No, that was bad.
Do you think, this is something we should even step into, this science?
No, not at all.
Okay, now
Not at all.
look at Neuralink. We're looking at Elon Musk's company, Neuralink.
Okay, well, we're not altering somebody's memory.
Correct. That's a different step, but that is logically the next step, right?
Yeah, you could.
Think of the positive side, again, referring to movies. In the movie The Matrix, they do the same thing. You go sit in a booth, they plug something into your head, and within seconds, you know Spanish, you know how to do Taekwondo, you know how to cook a 5-course meal, just like Gordon Ramsay. What about those memories? Are those okay to be implanted?
No.
Okay, I agree with you. I absolutely
No,
agree with you.
I think no.
This is the overwhelming of you're messing with what it is to be human. Also, if it's an artificial memory, it's not a memory. I mean, a memory is something you experience that you recall. But again, this is just the plot of Total Recall. These scientists are just ripping off Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. But it's a weird approach at how to handle the prison system that we're dealing with right now.
Well, maybe if I got implanted that Frontera actually was a great movie and Magnolia Pictures did a phenomenal job.
Right. And it made so much money. 15 Oscars.
And then in Frontera 2, I was able, they had a talk show host who had a part.
But is that the future? Is that the future we're heading at?
I hope not.
I think it's too far. I think it's way too far, implanting thoughts and memories in people's heads. But they're not going to stop, especially if they can make money on it. They can develop the technology. They'll start pushing it forward.
Yuck.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. It's Kim Komando Today. What that means is that you need to like, follow, comment, share, Did I miss anything? Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe. That's the
always-
important one.
Yeah, that's the one. I like looking at that one.
Yeah, because subscribe, what that means is that you get all this transference of intellect and fun delivered to you automatically.
Right. It reminds you, hey, Komando Today is live right now on YouTube if you want to go watch it.
Yes, exactly. Or if you're just walking around. We actually had a comment from somebody that said they were listening to the podcast and they were in the grocery store and she busted out laughing. And then everybody turned around and looked at her like,
What's your problem, lady?
who's this nutcase in aisle B?
Well, I'm glad we're making her laugh.
So what's going on with Walmart?
Walmart, they're going to use technology and they're going to get rid of. When's the last time you were at a Walmart? Let's be honest.
Me?
Yeah.
At a Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay. I did have to go to a Walmart. It was
Okay.
Christmas Day. My mother was really sick,
Okay.
and it was the only pharmacy that I could go get a prescription.
So you're saying years.
Years.
So when you go into a Walmart, they have these big signs that the prices are on, and with the big advertisements, the numbers can. That's why they get the rollback. That's their
Oh, that's where the
slogan.
rollback
Yeah,
is
they can change the price by just
yeah,
rolling it back.
I never saw that.
But on the shelves, the little price tags are just little stickers. They're little pieces of paper and plastic tabs. They're getting rid of all of that, and they're all going to have electronic price tags. So when you go to look at how much this shirt is, you'll look at a screen and see that it's $9.99. And the minute that they announced they were doing this, the internet said, "Well, here we go, Walmart surge pricing. You want to buy a rotisserie chicken at dinner time? It's going to be
Boom.
$2 more than if you wanted to buy it 4 hours later." Walmart
Hot
responded.
outside?
Yeah, exactly.
Ice goes up.
Right. Sunscreen's 3 times the price. Walmart responded with, "We absolutely promise you we will not use this for surge pricing until we decide that we're gonna." But it's our own dang fault. We all accepted Uber surge pricing as just a thing. Well, obviously it's more expensive now because it's more in demand. And we all just accept it and we pay it. And now everybody's going to do it, including Walmart. We don't believe you.
Which is every other retailer is going to pick up on it too.
Oh, absolutely. Remember when Wendy's floated it out there? They had to cancel it within 24 hours because of the backlash that came down. It's going to happen. It's going to be a reality of our future.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just the bottom line. And speaking of Walmart,
Natural transition.
God, I hate you. I just hate you.
Oh, go ahead. Speaking of Walmart, yes.
Now I can't. I don't want to do it now.
Did I ruin it?
You ruined my joke.
Okay, I won't make eye contact. Just do your joke. I won't even look at you.
Okay, this is a funny joke.
I bet it is.
You're going to laugh.
They all are.
Okay. Where does Walmart keep the Terminator toys?
The Terminator twins in the back.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Like I'll be
In the back was better.
No,
In the back.
No, I'll be
Yeah, I understand.
back.
Yeah, I got it.
I'll be back.
I understand.
Okay, then you're not. How come you're not laughing?
Because it lacks humor.
It does not. People love my jokes.
I don't know why.
They tell me every day. They stop me on the street. They say, "Your jokes are so funny."
See, you're funnier when you're winging it. These pre-prepared I'll be back ones sometimes fall flat.
They do not. All right, guys and gals, thanks for being here. Just a little heads up, because I'm going to be taking a little vacay.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the summertime.
Yes, so I'm going to be taking a little vacay. So you're going to see a little best ofs, but these are the best of the best ofs.
No, that's next week, though.
Yeah, and then we pre-recorded a whole bunch of stuff. And so, but we do appreciate you being here. And make sure that you listen to the podcast. Also, win from Kim. I didn't talk about that. Win from Kim. We're giving away a $1,000 gift card to your
Nice.
favorite airline. That was my idea.
It wasn't. It was my idea months ago.
Liar.
We're live Friday, though, right? The best stuff start Friday?
Not sure.
Okay.
Let me figure that out.